Okay, full time here in Croke Park, and Dublin are Leinster champions for the 13th consecutive year. Final score is 5-21 to Louth's 15 points. Ross, what do you make of that?
Yeah, all too routine from a Dublin perspective. They were fantastic, really, when you look at the game over the 70 minutes. Slow start, after 16 minutes or thereabouts, it was 3 points apiece. And then after that, Dublin completely took me apart in all areas of the field, probably except for one man who deserves a huge mention, Leinster final. I know his team were beaten soundly, but Sam Mulroy, by my count, finished with 10 points. 2 from play, significant number of frees. There was a couple of 45s in there as well, so fair play to him. It's a bright light for Louth going into the All-Ireland group stages from now, but from Dublin, I think they had 11 different scores. They had a 70% scoring rate throughout, just routine. They didn't look like they had to get to their top gear, and again, it's another step in their consistent journey to what I think will be towards the All-Ireland quarterfinals, and then after that we'll start seeing the real Dublin.
Yeah, the Connacht final, Galway won by 14 points, Kerry won the Munster final by 14 points. Teams are not really being tested heading into the All-Ireland series. At Dublin, you could say, have had no test at all today. Do you think that will affect them going into the All-Ireland series?
No, I really don't. I think Dublin have been looking at this whole competition and this setup, knowing that because of the structure of the group stages, more than likely they're going to go straight through to the quarter-final. So it's the games at this stage are about consistency, picking up wins without any of them being knockout. And I think Dublin have their eye on the knockout stages. They rotate their team pretty much every day that they go out. I think Dessie Farrell is using as many of his squad as he possibly can. He's trying to build a team because he knows that from this point on now it's going to be 6 or 7 more games to win the All-Ireland. So the 7th, depending on if they don't win their group, they'll have to do the prelim quarter-final. We expect that they won't. We expect that they will go straight through to the quarter-final, which would leave them with 6 games. And I think the gloves will be off come the quarter-final, because it's only at that stage in this championship that it'll be knockout for Dublin.
One thing that impressed you with Dublin, particularly in the first half, was the accuracy. That's something that they've seemed to be definitely working on. But also, was it a lot easier today to be more accurate? What do you think of all that?
Yeah, I think because of the opportunities that they took, the way they worked the ball, there was times in the first half where they just weren't making any mistakes because of their 4-man press in the full forward line. Louth went long with the ball. Dublin totally dominated the Louth long kick out for probably the last 20 minutes of the first half, which meant when they were winning the ball, they were on the front foot straight away because Louth were chasing out under the breaks, and that meant Dublin didn't have to break down the Louth defence. They just had to work the ball fairly straight away into a scoring position, and they were clinical. They could afford to take the right shot because there was no pressure. Such was their dominance at midfield. You really have to say it was, I'm going to use the word routine, because they have progressed through Leinster with such ease over the last 13 years or thereabouts. Yes, Kildare threw everything at them the last day out, but I still don't think this Dublin team are operating at full capacity. I think they got caught last year in the All-Ireland semi-final against Kerry. They missed Con in that game. Had they won it, it could have been the All-Ireland champions out there today again. So I think Dublin are really, really, really picking their battles right the way through this championship, and as I say, it's only when we hit the quarter-final stage are we going to see Dublin playing their top team.
How hard is it for Mickey Harte now to pick his team up after a loss like that? There's always hope going into any game you play. You wouldn't play it unless you had some hope, but Louth fans came here today with genuine hope, and that they shipped a big beating out there. How does Mickey Harte manage that?
Yeah, I would say I was worried before the game. I thought there was warning signs for Louth given their performance against Offaly the last day. Because it was such an even keel kind of a game. That worried me from a Louth perspective, because Offaly are mid-table Division 3 team. So I was concerned for them. I think Mickey Hart and his backroom team will have been preparing for the All-Ireland stages. I think the inevitable happens today, and they will know that one win in the group stages will probably get them through to a prelim quarter-final, and they're in a group where they're now going to be quite competitive. I think it's Louth, Cork, Mayo and Kerry, so the big game for them is their next game, which is against Cork, and if they can beat Cork, they know that they'll play their final 2 games against Mayo and Kerry. Yes, the writing is on the wall going into those 2 games, but one win from here will get them through, and that's why probably unlucky for them that it's Cork coming next, but it's their most winnable game, and I think they beat them in the league already this year. They certainly finished above them, so it's all to play for, and I think if Louth are honest, they will have known that despite what happens today, it's all coming down to that Cork game.
Yeah. Well, as you said, routine for Dublin today. Final score here in Croke Park, it's 5-21 to Louth's 15 points.